Welcome back to Grow Moringa Farms. Thanks a lot for coming in. Today is Thursday, and it's our Moringa Passion and Wellness Day. So we have some guests here that are going to help us with our show today, so thanks a lot for coming in. I put some moringa tea with cranberry juice and beet juice.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. And we have our wonderful Moringa microgreens kit that's popping. I literally put these, I put 100 seeds in a tray about 2 weeks ago. And it took about a week for them to pop, and it's taken about a week for them to get this height. I've had them in the shade here and been watering them maybe only once or twice. You can see I keep it fairly dry. And I'm really passionate about consuming fresh greens. One of the things that people ask is, how can I eat it? And the best way to eat moringa is fresh, green, right off the tree. So you can cut these tops off just like this and prepare it in a dish, a salad, a soup. They're very soft like this.
Oh, tender.
But then, yeah, very tender. But then if you pop it off here below the first node, it's probably going to reproduce a whole new stem. A lot of times when I ship trees, the stems sometimes die. And so people think that the trees are dead. And I like to confirm with people that the tree's not dead. It's actually going to re-sprout from the root. And that's why I send trees with root tubers on them. They actually have a potato-y, carrot type tuber. And that is what ensures that they live through that shipping process. They're going to go into shock. So a lot of people are really quick after the first week. If it's not sprouting, they're asking for refunds, or they're telling me that the trees are dead. And I say, well, just wait a second. The reason why I ship you fertilizer with the trees is so that way you can put the fertilizer on it. That's going to help give it some extra life and kick in that shock. That's the reason why I put that in the package.
Well, the moringa doesn't die as fast as we think it does.
It's very resilient. It is sensitive to frost. But when it looks dead, I just tell people it could take several weeks to bounce back. It's just people are in a rush and they want to get it fast and they want to get it going, and I understand. That's why I tell people to plant the 20 seeds that I also include in the package for free, to plant those seeds as well. In case they have any loss or damage, they've got a packet of free moringa seeds to plant, and to make sure that they use the fertilizer and the tools that I gave them in the package. That way they have the utmost care and success.
Amazing.
Amazing, right?
Well, the support that you're giving your people is just amazing to me, because so many times I've been doing this on my own for so long.
Thank you. So she's saying the support that we give them, and that's true, because every time someone texts me or emails me, a lot of times they say, thanks for getting back to me so fast. Because now I'm in that hot seat where if I see the email, if I see the text, I'm not waiting. I'm not saying I'll get back to it later. I'm making sure that I get back to it fast. And as we grow in scale, I am getting my family in on the mix. We were talking about this as a family practice, right? So everybody here has the opportunity to come into the members area and share that ticket with your family, with your friends, as a co-op, right? We talk a little bit about the co-op business model and how you can utilize one membership for your whole family, and then inspire them to have a family business is really the key that we want to focus on. Because if you can work with your family, you can work with everybody.
Exactly.
That's kind of my thing is, let's all work together as a family as if we were family. Sometimes we end up treating the people that are closest to us kind of like a little rough, right? But if we can still have that filter with our family, then we can have that filter with everybody. We don't want to be two different types of people, right? We want to be the same loving, caring, passionate, empathetic, patient
That
person.
passion is what's so important, because we've got to share it with the community.
Yeah, that's why we're here. Today's day is Thursday. It's like a Jesus day. It's a spirituality day during the week. Today's purpose is wellness and communication. We want to connect with our friends and family here on our TikTok channel, on our YouTube channel. We're going to share this to our Facebook as well. And this day carries the energy of Jupiter, if some people are into astrology, which is the largest planet in the sky, right? And it is um, dealing with expansion, abundance, wisdom. And that's why we're here today to talk about learning as much as you can about Moringa, because with that knowledge, you can take that information to every part of your life. I've been able to essentially just be a better person in all aspects of my life because I have my hands in the dirt. We were just talking about how Americans are more sterile, right? And other countries come here and they're like, whoa, it's like, it's really cleaning everything. But sometimes that sterility can cause our immune systems to shoot down. So sometimes it's important to get out in the dirt and get, playing. I love seeing how like sometimes other cultures, they'll even like wrap their children in leaves, right? Because leaves and sticks have all of those microbes and organisms. And as they come out of the womb and you introduce them and they lay in a bed of leaves, I don't know if you've ever seen that before, where some cultures will lay a bed of leaves and they'll keep the baby and sleep with the baby. There's some cultures, like I think in Russia and other parts of the world that get cold, that they actually keep their babies outside at night in strollers, so that way they build up the strength of the cold. We've got Vikings in the house right here, so you can appreciate that cold weather can actually bring strength. We know the Wim Hof method of ice bath, cold and heating, that type of extreme temperature. Some of us like to take like cold showers. Like if we have the hot water on, to just spend a few moments turning it to cold and having that shock in the system. Oh, so cold. That's so cold.
My kids were brought up with the ice being broken, and I dumped them in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, they grew up that way. It's so important to keep that nervous system healthy.
Nervous system. It's funny you say that, because that's actually what the moringa tree is really good for.
Exactly.
Is helping to restore the nervous system.
Exactly. That's
one of the things. Wonderful. And we have a
functional neurologist.
A functional neurologist doctor is in the house with us today. And she's been a clinical chiropractor for many years. And she's also been a part of many conferences for the past 25 years, was just saying that
worldwide.
Goes to a worldwide conference that has to do with health and wellness. And that's what today's day is going to be. As we establish this channel, this is our new podcast channel where we go live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And so that's why we're establishing kind of like a rhythm with our guests, with our viewers, with our subscribers. So that way they can trust that we're going to be consistent with the message, and they can learn something on a Thursday that's different than a Tuesday, that might be a little different than a Saturday.
With neurology,
yeah,
it's so foundational to have moringa in your diet every day because of the way the food is grown.
She's saying to have moringa in the diet every day before neurology.
Well, it will help your nervous system, because the way food's grown, there's
yes.
not enough nutrients and there's too many chemicals.
It's going to help the nervous system because there's not enough nutrients in the everyday food. There's also chemicals in the everyday food, and this is going to help potentially cleanse and detox your system to where you can be at a stasis, a balance.
Those it has all 8 essential amino acids, one of the few foods that have.
And she's talking about all the essential amino acids that moringa has because
and that builds your nervous system.
And that builds your nervous system. This is coming directly from a doctor here. So thank you for joining us and being a part of the show.
Well, I'll do anything to keep moringa around.
Wonderful. Some of the topics that we can talk about today is a deeper meaning behind moringa and what it represents for us: family, life, legacy. We were talking about how we want to grow moringa for generations to come.
Exactly.
I'm starting this family business as a trust that I can pass down to my children. I don't have any children yet, but I'm thinking about having a nice big family, whether we adopt children, have many children of our own. But I want to be able to pass this down. I have a few brothers and sisters that are also starting to see what's happening here. They live in other parts of the country, but if they can spend a little bit of time in Florida and feel this heat, which is actually really wonderful for the trees, they're just now starting to bounce back from the frost, right?
Yeah. Well, you had what, 5 different frosts and
Yeah,
hurricane?
I was telling her that we had a hurricane in October, then we had a frost in November, December, January, February, and a frost in early March. So then when April 1st came around, everybody's coming out here like, I want to buy a ton of moringa. And I'm like, we just had a frost. And also the trees that are going out in the mail, that were going out in the mail, we sold them all. We sold all of last year's trees. So if you ordered moringa trees, please be patient. We're actually restarting our whole new season. And we're about 2 weeks into sprouting, and we're going to ship your trees as soon as they're big enough to go in the mail. So you can order your trees now. They're going to come within the next 2 weeks. We're going to start shipping trees out again. We have about 20 big tree orders that are in the queue, and we have about 200 to 300 tree orders that are in the queue right now that are just waiting. We're communicating with people. They're ready to jump the gun. They want to get started, and I want to reassure everybody that's still very early in the season, and they love the heat and they love the rain, as long as they're high and dry. So here in the tropical regions, we plant moringa on a mound. In a desert region, you would plant it in a valley, right? Because
It gets the dew.
it'll get the dew. It'll be more shady with the sun. They have more shade that'll hit the bowl. Versus here, if it floods and it rains, we have monsoon season here. That the high mound will help keep the tree high and dry.
That makes sense.
Um, so today's stories, today's videos, Thursday's live videos are going to be a lot about you, the viewers. And so we would love to have you comment any of your testimonials. We want to see what has Moringa done for you. We want to see any of your testimonials about Moringa, and tell us your healing story. This is the day that we want to share your healing story. We're going to go with Dr. Julie here in a second. She's going to tell us maybe some stories. Maybe she has
growing stories.
She has growing stories, but possibly you're really healthy because you've been using Moringa for many years. When did you first hear about Moringa?
Before you were born.
She's saying over 30 years ago, she heard about Moringa. And so you've had it in your diet for over 30 years. Wow. And how is your favorite way to consume Moringa?
I just make a powder.
Powder?
And then it's much easier because I travel quite a bit, so I can take a package with me.
Yeah.
I don't want capsules.
She's traveling. She likes the powder, not so much the capsules.
My finger and stick it in the bag, and
she just licks the bag and just is consuming it like that. When you get to that point, it's like it's not as strong. A lot of people are really like adverse to the taste because they're so used to sugar and they're so used to salt. And so one of the first things that you could do to potentially help cleanse your liver and your gut and cleanse your body of parasites that are craving that sugar and salt is to consume more moringa. But also one of the major questions that I get is, how much moringa should I consume? And I say, just start off in small amounts.
Quarter teaspoon is fine.
And a quarter teaspoon is a small little amount.
When I make recommendations to cancer patients, I said just a quarter teaspoon.
Wow, she talks to cancer patients about and is providing moringa. Well. They're getting much better. That's beautiful to hear.
So it's before they get their medication. You take the moringa before they have to go in for medication, and it helps them on the reactions.
It helps with the chemical reactions that's going on with the medications. I had a friend that had colon cancer, and she had part of her colon removed. Mm-hmm. And she was coming to see me for a little while, and she said that it helped her to recover faster from the chemotherapy. She was on a round of 1 year. She was on chemo for like a year. But she said she was able to bounce back after every session because she would just consume moringa, and she was able to recover faster. Exactly. There was actually a study done with rats that they had a trial test where they had rats and infected them with cancer and then gave them chemo and then studied those results. But then they had rats that they fed moringa, then they gave them the cancer, then they were feeding them moringa during the chemo,
Right.
right? And those rats had a higher rate of
Recovery.
living,
Yeah.
a higher rate of recovery, and a higher rate of longevity after the chemo. More of the rats that did not have any moringa, they passed away.
Well, we have to realize that every problem is a deficiency disease, and moringa feeds that deficiency.
Right. She's saying that every disease is a mineral deficiency. Some type of deficiency.
Vitamin, mineral, protein.
Vitamins,
fats.
minerals, proteins, fats. One of the reasons why I eat the way that I do, being more plant based, is having lots of fats in my diet. You know, I do consume a little bit of ghee because I'm really just affected by the lactose, I think, and so the ghee helps me with the fats. You know, that's a animal fat. It's essentially a clarified butter where they take the lactose out, and essentially it's just kind of skimmed off the top, the fat. But I also consume a lot of fatty foods, like even avocado is a fatty food. You know, there are some studies that say avocado, too much avocado because it's in the certain family of foods, can affect certain people. But I think everything in balance.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. And that's why we fast, actually, Catherine and I, we fast on Mondays.
Yeah.
We take Sundays at the end of Sunday. We fast on Monday, and then we'll eat on Tuesday morning. And that gives our system a break. And it's helping me to feel more confident when, say, like I'm out somewhere and I'm hungry. I say, you know what? Not to worry. I don't need to eat right now. I can hold it. I can drink some water, and I'm going to be fine. I'm going to just go within for that moment. And that's what we want to talk about, is possibly practicing a fast ritual every week or every month if you haven't yet. I actually fasted for 30 days on just moringa tea and water. And I did that about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it took me about 2 years to get to that 30-day. And I was going to school, I was working full time, I had a vending machine business, and it was honestly the toughest thing that I've ever done. But after those 30 days, I realized that moringa was the real deal. And I also realized that I wanted to talk about moringa for the rest of my life. I asked the spirit of moringa if I could just utilize her abundance for a living. And she gave me the go ahead as long as I had love.
The desire, and then it's the discipline of learning how to put this incredible market together that you've done.
Thank you. The desire to put this all together, that's why we're here today, is to talk more to our moringa enthusiasts. I would love to have you guys on the show on Thursday. If any of you can make it to the show, text me. I'm going to just talk with them because I want them to text me. If anybody wants to get on this show on Thursdays and share your story, you want to have a conversation with me about what Moringa's done for you. I essentially want to go deeper into the healing journey of what people have experienced with Moringa to help bring them balance and long-term vision. I actually used Moringa for a little while to help restore my vision. And definitely every time I take it, I feel a boost of mental clarity. You know, I also stopped consuming alcohol and I also stopped smoking cannabis. So those two things have really helped me over the last year to get really clear. You know, and I have cycles. Like I might get really stressed and feel like I need to consume those things to escape, right? But what I do is I try to take more time off of work, you know, because this is still a job, you know, as much as I love what I do.
24/7.
It's 24/7. This is our business, but what's really important is having mental health, taking a break. We go outside in the middle of the day. We have a yurt in the back. We meditate in the back of the yurt, and we have a campsite in the back. And we take breaks throughout the day. Like right now, that's why we're open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 10 to 2. And you guys came in right at 12 o'clock. I was just working on something. I wanted to finish my thought. I was working on my colors. Today was all about branding and colors and what does this color invoke and what does this color provide in thought. And so I love the fact that you guys came in. I was able to finish that thought, and we're here today sharing our conversations and getting to know each other more. And, you know, when you work with moringa, it's going to help you connect back to nature. You know, one of the things that you like to do, and the reason why you're so healthy is because you garden,
Yeah, all the
right?
time.
What are some other things that you like to grow other than moringa?
So I have strawberry guava.
Strawberry guava. Oh, I love that. Feijoa.
It's just about ready to bloom.
Yes.
Blossom.
Oh, those flowers are amazing. You were talking about orchids
I
earlier.
have vanilla orchids.
Orchids.
I have the cherry tree that comes in.
Cherry tree.
Yeah,
A cherry
huge
tree.
cherries.
An actual cherry?
Yes.
It produces cherries.
Yes. Yes, it's huge.
You're kidding. Is it a strawberry cherry?
No.
No, because I know how there's like a strawberry tree.
It's not like the cherry up north. It
Oh,
has the
oh.
tree seeds in
Is it a Suriname cherry or a Barbados cherry?
Yes.
Yes, it's one of those ones. It's
But
a
not the
tropical
bush,
cherry.
It's the big tree.
Wow.
And then I have lemon. I have 3 key limes.
Lemons, key lime lemons.
I have bamboo.
You said that you were from
sugar-
Key West. You love Key West,
Well,
right?
I grew up in Marathon.
Where's that? Down there?
That's
50
40
miles from Key West.
50 miles from Key West. You're
Right
from
now I'm
Marathon.
in Stewart.
You know what's funny is one day I woke up and we were building a food forest in Tampa.
Yeah.
I was living at someone's house, and we were looking and thinking, what do we need? And we were craving key lime pie. So you know what we did? We drove to Key West and we picked up a key lime
Right.
tree
Right.
and we planted it in the garden, just so we could say that when we made dessert from that key lime, that it was actually real key lime
I
pie.
have 3 key limes from heirloom seeds. I have calamanda that's
Calamanda,
totally
yep.
in bloom right now.
Yep.
Absolutely. Everybody should have
I don't know what that is.
It's a sour, kind of like a sour tangerine orange.
Calamanda. Oh, I have one.
They're
That's a
so
Spanish-
good.
It's a small
It's
citrus.
thin-skin citrus.
I have a
Everything is
calamanda
edible.
right out here. I forgot the name of it. That's it.
It's so
Everything
nice.
is
And
edible.
then I have a key lime, and then I have
Key
a
lime.
Myers lemon. and
Myers
then
lemon.
I have sugar cane, and I
Sugar
have
cane. I want
grapes.
that dark purple stem sugar cane. I want that one.
The heirloom.
Heirloom sugar cane. We want to get that here.
What else do I have? I have huge tomato plants, and
Tomatoes,
I have potatoes growing. I made
Potatoes.
a potato box, and so
potato
I have,
boxes.
I have a potato box of vanilla, the vanilla orchid making vanilla beans.
The A-frame.
Yeah, the A-frame,
The A-frame for your water
Which one is that?
the tomato A-frame.
for on the fence. You know, the one. that
Oh, I
they-
have. I'm doing. I've got
A beautiful garden.
hydroponics on
A
my fence.
hydroponic fence. You
Yeah.
guys are killing it right now,
You know, so
crushing
you
it.
just kind of go like this, and you have your little thing, little tubes. You know, the tubes have the holes, and you put your little
Yeah.
baskets in, and the
Yeah.
little, you know, and the roots go down, and
Yeah.
you grow whatever you want to grow.
You know what I love growing
And I got lots of herbs
for the ground?
Uh.
Mimosa.
Yeah.
The ground cover.
Yeah.
It has that beautiful purple flower. That to me, when I see that, I think of expansion, the nervous system,
What's really nice for ground cover is this huge leafed oregano plant,
oregano.
and it will fill up that whole area around. your
Oh
tree out
yeah,
there.
that too. The Cuban oregano.
I guess that's what it was given to me, and it's just growing. All
We
over
have
the place.
longevity spinach. You know, the Hawaiian spinach. That helps as a ground cover. Fern helps as a ground cover as
Sage.
well. Sage, peppermint, oregano,
But I have chaya.
spearmint.
and
Those
I
are more
have
annuals.
K-tuck. Do you know about K-tuck?
We have katuk. Yep, katuk. Yeah,
Okay.
katuk. We have some of that out there. I've
And
got
then,
figs.
Do you have chaya?
Chai. All that is chaya here, and I have chai out in the field. I
So
took a
I've got
tour. We took a
lot of
tour.
chaya and-
You got
and
to see-
rosemary, hibiscus.
I have some hibiscus seeds that I need to plant. I'm gonna get those out there.
Rosemary, hibiscus,
Yeah.
Because I want edible landscaping.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
That's
people
what we're
like-
turning our field into. Right now, to establish our field,
Yeah.
we had to just get the cash flow.
Right. Well, you've got
And
to
you-
get the foundation.
We
right.
had to get the foundation going. That's what we want to teach people is
The hard part about moringa is you've got the desire. It's the foundation for everything
Mhm.
because it keeps you healthy, it makes you happy, and then you get some income, you meet people, but then you can move on to do other things. in
That's
your
right.
community.
get started with moringa that you can get cash flow. This is a cash crop.
But the problem is people get frustrated about growing or getting the seeds going, or
Yeah.
but you've got the fertilizer now. You've got
The
way to keep it
fertilizer.
going. Read the book.
And she's got the book right here. She
Mhm.
actually picked up a copy of the book. You can get your copy of this book at growmoringa.com. Actually, we provide copies of the book with lifetime membership as well. So if you sign up for lifetime membership, you can get a copy of this book as
It
well.
is so important about saving the soil. It's the bugs in the soil
Save
that
our
feed
soil.
the plant that keep us healthy.
That's
And
right.
it's the bugs in ours. And we've got to stop killing the bugs. I'm so
Oh
against,
yeah.
I'm so
That's why I
against
planted the
Roundup.
chas tree. You saw the pollinator. The first thing that we walked over into the farm is I have this beautiful Vitex laurel. It's
Oh,
called
yeah,
the
that's
chas
good.
tree,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And it's got this purple flower that's popping on it right now, and all the bees are on it. And
It's
everybody's
so
like, "What is
gorgeous.
this? Why do we have this
Oh,
here?"
yeah, bees.
And you could see as soon as we started walking over to it, we saw butterflies and bees, and
I
not
got my
just
butterfly
honeybees.
plants too, and I get my chompers. You know, it's
Yeah.
like when the chompers are on there, you know, eating the leaves up. It's like so cool.
We identified several types of bees. Actually, I'm looking, I'm like, there's the big black bee, there's a mason bee, there's a honey bee. You know, there's over 200 varieties of bees in
I have
Florida.
a bee hostel on my fence.
Wow,
in case
she's
you-
into it. She's into the bees.
But I'm against Roundup because of Roundup is what's doing and all the spraying that's going on.
Yeah,
We don't get enough bugs in our soil, and so our plants are starving. And that's why we have to realize how important it is to learn how to eventually test our plants. To do the-
testing.
you know, with the bricks testing. To even
Yeah,
make
you were talking about the bricks testing, testing the plants, the soil.
But that's a way to know the nutrient content, and that needs to be taught to people. So
Yeah.
Kendrick might be able to do that one day.
We are. And the most important aspect of what we're talking about is creating a space, a healing space for
home.
people to be healthier at home, to enjoy their home. A lot of people have never planted a seed before, right? When I first planted my first seed, I was 25 years old.
Oh.
And I planted my first seed at 25 years old. It changed my life completely.
Okay, I grow bananas.
Bananas.
The,
We have
the
tons of
lady,
bananas here.
My neighbor, she brought her daughter over. She had never picked a banana.
Or a fresh banana rack. Actually, somebody asked me, they were like, "What did you do for the 2 weeks when the power was out? What did you do?" And I said, "I just ate bananas."
Yeah.
Because I had harvested over 10 racks.
I just had a huge one.
And I had tons of bananas in the house that were ripening over the course of like 2 weeks. And I didn't have any food really other than those bananas.
Well, see, I have 5 dehydrators.
And
So-
she's got dehydrators.
So I will dehydrate bananas.
So that way
for
nothing
2
goes to
weeks.
waste.
None. And you know, if I have too much K-Tuk, I dehydrate it and make powder
Katuk,
out of
yeah,
it.
that helps dehydrating that. That's a really nice peanutty, protein rich,
Oh, it
oil
tastes-
rich.
Oh, the little leaves are so good.
What about those little seeds that come off of it? I call
You
those
know,
capers.
Those are so wonderful. to
You
eat. They
pop
are
those.
So sweet.
So sweet.
I mean, I'm surprised these chefs haven't found those yet.
Yeah, I think that's actually like a caper.
Yeah.
I think what's a caper, if you look up katuk,
Yeah.
the seed of the katuk in many places and dishes is actually the caper.
So tasty.
So
And you don't
that's
even have to wait till it goes to seed. It's just like these little.
it's a
red
beautiful
things.
addition to any salad or food or anything like
It's
that.
so sweet. It's not just it's not just veggie and green. It's
No.
sweet.
No. Let me
Yeah.
see if there's any comments. If anybody here has
I
that,
haven't
you can.
seen
You're good.
anything.
You're good.
Hang
No
on.
worries. I'm just going right here.
I have-
Let's see if we have any comment. Wilkin is here. Smoothie King is here. Smoothie King is here. Sarah is here. And we've had a few people say what's up already. We have about 10 people or so on the live here. Thanks, everybody. I
Yeah,
just
you're
power
so- well,
washed.
thank you for letting me talk because sometimes I get passionate
Oh,
about
yeah. Hopefully you
Don't-
guys can hear everything.
Don't get discouraged about growing moringa.
No,
Because it's
no
gonna be
discouragement.
challenging.
No, that's why we're here. We're here to support. We're a support network. We're here to support your endeavors. And it takes patience. I was just telling everybody over the weekend that it took me about a year to get to the point where I had a product,
Right.
this much product in a package to sell. And then when I sold that package, I was like, I have to do that again. Well, that time it took me maybe only a few months. Then
Those are the leaves.
Then
right?
I started having this much every week.
Yeah.
Now we sell many of these packages a day.
That's the discipline.
And it's because what are we going to do after this? We're going to go harvest some trees. And what are we going to do tomorrow? We're going to go harvest more trees. And I harvest trees all over the neighborhood, not just my farm. Because people come here, they're like, where's all your greens? And I say, well, it got cold here, but if I just go 20 minutes south or 15 minutes over here or 20 minutes over here, we've got a ton of greens that we can utilize and bring. So
I can verify. the
sharing is
quality.
caring.
That
Yeah.
Quality is impeccable. here.
Dr. Julie came in and she was like, I want to see your green because I want to see if it's as good as mine. And as soon as she saw the green, she was like, holy crap. It's really, really
I
green.
had to open a package package. I had to smell it. I had to look at it.
Yeah.
I had to make sure it
You're-
was just
You're good. No
right.
worries. I'm going to grab one of our green packages. I think we have it just right here. Yeah. Show's going good so far. Yeah, everything's going great.
Impeccable process.
Yeah, so here's the green from our green that you won't be able to find anywhere on the store.
And you won't be able to smell it online, but I can guarantee it
Yeah.
smells. I would say it's almost
I know it's kind of dark here,
it's better
but
than mine, but just a little bit.
yeah, essentially, if you pull this out, this is super vibe and high vibe and green.
And I've been through, I've seen his growing, I've seen his drying, I've seen his pulverizing area.
She took a tour, so
everything is so clean.
Yes, thank you.
And so perfectly organized, no mess whatsoever.
Organization is key, and cleanliness is key. We're
quality personified here.
Thank you. Everything that we talk about, we are about, and that's the key. We have transparency. Anybody here, we would love for you to come in on Tuesdays. We have a live show on Tuesdays. Come in on Thursdays. We have a live show on Thursdays. And on Saturdays, we have a live show on Saturdays. But we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 2. And we would love to essentially hang out with everybody that wants to come in. If you're local to Plant City, actually, you guys drove all the way from Stuart, Florida.
4.5 hours. Yeah.
4.5 hour drive. And we want to make sure that we're providing.
To meet you, and I didn't care if the door got closed. You know, I just wanted to know where you were.
No, yeah, I'm so happy you guys came in. It was perfect timing. Thanks for coming to visit. If anybody here wants to get in on the action, I have a new free masterclass book that you can download for free. Everybody here can go to growmoringa.com and get the Moringa Masterclass. It's financial freedom guide. It's your guide to financial freedom with Moringa. And it's 130 pages. Essentially, it talks about how you can make money from Moringa today as an affiliate, how you can make money in 7 days harvesting other people's properties. So you saw the dry room, how people could just go harvest other people's properties. This is what I do every day. I harvest other people's properties, I dry it, and I sell it, and I package it. So that's in 7 days. And then this book talks about how to make money within the first year doing what I do, doing an intensive operation, a hedge operation, and an orchard operation. And I can do everything on a half acre. We have 2.5 acres here, but you got a chance to see that we're planting 50,000 seeds on a half acre.
That's right. He'll say, I just planted 10,000 seeds on this bed.
On this row, 10,000 in a row.
Amazing. I was going, how did you get so many plants? And then I realized it was the seeds. But
yeah.
They all
and you're seeing 1,000 pop up on the raised bed right here. Yeah. After you guys go, I'm going to film a little film about how we're feeding those trees and how we got all of those to germinate and pop up. Because a lot of people are saying they didn't get their seeds to pop up. And I'm asking if timing, of course, is key. So we have a lot of those people that are saying that they try to germinate in December, January, February, March. And it's like, wait. Like the season starts in April, May. If you're anywhere in the north, it's starting in May, June, right? And that's when Moringa is going to love the heat. They pop up. They have a 90% germination rate.
Oh, good. Okay.
But if you're in the cold and you're doing it in the winter, the best success rate is to do it in a warm place and also soaking your seeds overnight in the fertilizer. So we have a kit here that comes with the liquid extract. It's made from Moringa leaves. So that's where this extract comes in. So I'm going to go on a film here shortly after we finish the live, and I'm going to post a film about how I'm watering all of my trees once they sprout with the fertilizer. And that film is going to be posted to our new coaching channel. Right now, you guys are watching us on our live podcast channel. But what I did was I created a brand new YouTube channel where everybody here can follow us, and you can go to Grow Moringa Coaching. So type in on YouTube, Grow Moringa Coaching, and you'll see our coaching YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our new coaching YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description. And that's going to take you over to our new coaching channel where I'm going to be posting all of the actual live coaching videos.
Did you say something about sometimes the weather comes in, like people who grow in Arizona and Mexico, and they grow their trees, but then it gets hot and they lose their tree, or in wintertime,
Yeah.
you know, but then it'll come back again. But sometimes
That's right.
people, they think they've lost it all the way down to the ground.
A lot of people think that they've lost their trees. I showed you guys half of my field is just coming back.
Right.
I didn't do anything. I didn't touch it. I waited until sometimes I'll even wait 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
I won't touch it. I'll let it resprout. And there's some of them that are just now starting to resprout from the base. And they had a huge base. They were already 6, 10 feet tall. They've already been growing in that place for 2 years. And all of a sudden we got hit with that hurricane. We were underwater for 2 weeks. So everything was covered for 2 weeks. Then we had a frost in November, and it just got hit after hit after hit. It's taking a while for those root systems to come back, and I'm just being patient.
But most of them are coming back.
All of them are coming back. I think out of the, say, 200 big trees, we might have lost maybe 20.
Yeah, at the most.
Yeah. But I think all of them are just now starting to pop out. So
we still have weather issues, and we have to, because we
Yeah.
had tornadoes where we were.
I mean, they were still spraying. They're still spraying. So thankfully, they're going to end that in Florida. They're ending the sprays. So by July or so, you'll see a lot clearer skies, and potentially that could balance out the cooler winters, the colder winters, and all those toxins that are going in the soil, slowing growth down. Those are anti-growth hormones that are going into the soil, the metals that are going into the soil. So stay healthy, stay safe, stay light, fast, and consider using moringa as a daily regimen in your diet.
Yes, please.
Yeah. And get back to nature is kind of like our main theme.
Grounding.
This is going to help you. Having a clean space is going to ensure that you can spend more time out of nature. Get rid of all that clutter. Get rid of all that junk that you thought that you were going to do 10 years ago. I'm now reaching that point in my life where it's like, if I haven't touched it in like 2-3 years and I had this idea, like I was going to do this with that, as sad as I am to see it go, I feel a lot better now that it's gone. You know, because now I'm clearing up the space. Simplicity, like we're renovating the space and we're keeping things clean and healthy and light.
And you're reaching more people.
And now we're reaching even more people. So we have 3 YouTube channels now. Everybody here is watching the YouTube channel. I'm going to share with you our new coaching channel. And then we also have a viral clips channel. So if you want to subscribe to that clips channel and you really only have 1 minute to 2 minutes to get these quick sound bites, we're going to be posting every day on that channel, Grow Moringa Clips. So subscribe to the 2 other YouTube channels that we just started, and we really appreciate you guys for joining us. For today's quick little tips, quick show, our little spiritual journey here with our miraculous moringa trees. Look at this microgreens kit here. There was 100 seeds that we sprouted in this little tray here. And so we've got a couple more down there, and then we've got 1,000 seeds that you guys can grab from us. These are super, super great, healthy, clean. You can eat them and sprout them. Make sure to germinate them with the biostimulant, and you'll have a much more success rate with the germination. And thanks a lot, everybody, for coming in. Thank you. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on Saturday. We got a show on Saturday, so come back and see us. Peace and love.
Yeah, only 4.5 hours.
Woohoo! All right, we're closing out here. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.